Distillery for joining me today for our first in the series of Behind the Business. Thanks guys for joining me so much.
Very welcome.
So tell me a little bit about Durham Distillery. How did you guys get started?
Well, we were at a Spark Angels meeting in January.
Okay.
And the founder, Chris Ferg, came in and did a presentation. Our group sees 3 presentations every month of startup businesses that are looking for early stage and seed financing, and Chris came in and did a presentation, and it was just at the point where the economy was starting to hear rumblings of COVID and things were a little unsettled. So at the time he didn't get a ton of interest from angel investors, but there were a few of us that thought about it and contacted Chris afterwards and became very interested, and we had some subsequent discussions outside of the angel environment, and we basically, 3 of us became active partners in the business.
Wonderful. And so can you tell me a little bit about the distillery? So what do you guys do? What are your key products that you guys make?
The distillery, Chris Ferg is the founding partner of the distillery there. He's also the master distiller. We make vodka, gin right now, so we're working with some charity organizations, local companies,
nice.
To help do that. So Chris has been absolutely paramount in that process. It's part of the reason why we fell in love with the Durham Distillery brand and Chris himself.
Thanks. Wonderful. So you guys were saying that you have partnerships. So are you all active partners in the business, or?
We all we're all active,
okay.
And we all have very different roles. Chris, of course, is the most involved in day-to-day everything from working on formulations, finding bottling equipment, to looking for space and everything else. So Chris really plays a major role in all aspects. I take my aspect from a little bit of a sales and marketing, but more of a logistic. We're doing some of the manufacturing at one of the locations that I own.
Okay.
And I help out with sort of the production and the distribution, a little bit of the sales, the shipping side of it. So I'm active on one side. We have another partner who is a lawyer, and he's not as involved in the day-to-day operations at all, but he certainly helps us with leasing negotiations, with contract negotiations, with landlords, with clients, with potential distribution partners, overlooking all the legal implications and liabilities of potentially selling and distributing alcohol. So it's very, very good to have a lawyer on board. So although he may not be as active in the day-to-day business, he's certainly just as key of a partner and an equal financial partner, and just as key of a partner in making sure of the ongoing viability of the business.
That's perfect. It sounds like you guys have your bases covered.
And I'll let Aaron talk about his role.
Yeah. I pretty much have a frontline approach, especially with the upcoming hopeful expansion. There'll be a lot more work for myself to do in the eye of the public, and it's certainly with the spreading the word of the product. So I bank myself off of years of experience in the industry, and hopefully bring that to the table there.
Perfect. Well, no, it sounds like you guys are doing really good. So what have been some of your biggest struggles then? I know the business is a fairly infant stage business. What are the biggest challenges you've seen so far?
There's always a challenge. Every day is a different challenge. It starts even with having 4 partners.
Right.
Everybody has to agree. Everybody has different ideas. Some people are perhaps even a little more optimistic, some are a little more pessimistic, but we work well together, and we check and balance each other as far as making stuff gets done and the money is spent on the right priorities. Fundraising, of course, having the necessary funds is always a challenge. Sales and marketing, of course, is a challenge. It's an established product in a rapidly growing industry, but we have to get our brand out there. We have to make sure that we're getting to the right market, even determining who your market is. Are you aiming at a younger market, an older market? So you have to determine who your market is. So it's that's tricky, taking an established product and determining exactly who you want to be the brand to, right? And there's other opportunities. So I don't know what Aaron
to start with for sure. But one of our biggest obstacles right now is logistics.
Right.
Completely outgrown the space that we're in at the moment, and right now it's time to get to a space that we have more room to produce products, to operate, and to hit the ground.
Perfect. So are you guys looking to lease a space or to buy a space here in Durham, or?
Definitely lease, because there's not a lot of real estate for lease or for sale in Durham region, and there's even less for sale than there is for lease. It's hard to find. We need a location that has, I guess it has to have the right zoning. I'm not an expert on this, but it has to have the right zoning for what we want, and we have to be able to produce on site, and we have to be able to sell and serve on site. So we have to be very critical in what we want, and it has to be in the right location that's going to be accessible and have a high traffic area at a price we can afford. Yes. So we know the spaces out there. We've looked at a few, and I think we're zoning in on exactly what we want. And then if we can find a place that has the opportunity to expand as the business expands, both the retail side and the manufacturing side, that's going to be even better.
That's perfect. And so what do you guys kind of see your goals for the next year? What sort of targets or what kind of things are you hoping to achieve in this next year? Obviously, getting into a physical space is a big one. What other kind of things are you guys looking to do?
We want a home in Durham region, like a nice spot that people can see when they're driving by, and come in, feel like a cool spot to be, watch how we grow and how we produce the products.
Yeah.
We want them to come in and be able to interact with the products, with our staff, with our partnership, and what we're all about.
Well, perfect. As soon as you guys get a physical space, I'm sure you guys are going to have lots of visitors come to it. And for anybody who enjoys these type of beverages, I suggest check out your website. You guys, what's your website? Give yourselves a plug.
www.durhamdistillery.ca.
So definitely go and check it out, and you guys can order from this website, correct?
Yes, you can.
Right now, perfect, and see all of the products that they have, and check them out. And I want to thank KB Restaurant for allowing us to film today in their beautiful space. If you have not been to this restaurant, I highly recommend it. The food is delicious and locally grown. They use locally grown food, so that's another great place in Durham. Durham's full of them. Well, thanks guys so much for talking to me today. And anybody who is interested are you guys looking for more investors? That's a good question. Are you guys looking to have more investors come on in the future?
At the current time, we don't need any more investors.
Okay.
Each of the four of us have our ownership stakes, and our partnership agreement is working very well. And we have our expansion plan, and there is still there's good government opportunities and government fundings and loans and grants that we're working through for our seed stage. Once we have our manufacturing and retail facility open in Durham, and we really get our marketing and sales going, in the future, it's quite likely we'll open it up to different types of investments. It may be other angel investors, it may be venture capital companies, it may be larger type other craft distillers that you partnership, it may be distribution companies, big brand name beverage companies, who knows? But yes, in all likelihood, to get the business to the next level,
right,
we are going to need additional investment.
Perfect. So the sky's the limit. So anybody who's also maybe potentially interested in investing in a business in the future, give these guys a shout if you're interested in doing that. Well, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. Anytime.
Hi, I'm Kevin Brown. KB is at 120 Brock Street North in Whitby. We offer farm-to-table food and contemporary cocktails in a casually elegant atmosphere. We hope to see you soon.